Hi, it's Nell, and today I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite succulents. I know I've said that before, but I really love this one. It's this one here. It's the Coppertone Stonecrop. I call it Coppertone Sedum. The botanic name is Sedum nussbaumerianum. I have this plant in my garden also, but it's a little bit on the breezy side here today, so I just wanted to do a video on this, and so that's why I'm in the garage. But it is a beautiful, beautiful shade of orange, and I love orange in the garden. I love it, and it's a nice contrast to a lot of the greens and succulents. It also goes beautifully with burgundy. This aeonium just has a blush of burgundy in it, but I have some aeoniums that are really burgundy, and it goes just lovely. And it gets about 8 to 12 inches tall, and it spreads about 2 to 3 feet. Now mine has spread fairly slowly, but that could be because I cut it so often. I use it a lot for crafting. I just love the color, and it's a very tough leaf too, and it holds up beautifully. It's very easy to propagate. If you watch my video on propagating succulents, I will leave the link below. It's exactly what you do. Here's one that's already rooted. I just used it in a crafting project, so it has a touch of hot glue on it. And I'm going to use it for another one. And this pot is growing in full sun. That's why the graftive area is a little bit bleached out, because it's against the wall of my office, and we just had a hot spell. So this graftive area in my front yard is much more purpley mauve. But you can see these are pretty orange here because they're getting a lot of light, whereas these are out in the front yard where they aren't getting as much light. And also the new growth tends to grow over, obviously, the growth underneath, so it's going to shade it a little bit. So it's going to be almost more of like a chartreuse edged in orange, whereas this, as you can see, is really Coppertone. Does beautifully in containers. It's really, really well suited for containers. I have it in quite a few containers in my garden. It also is great for seaside. It can tolerate the salt in the air, and it is low water requiring. It does need some. It's not totally drought tolerant like a cactus. Well, I guess you would call it drought tolerant. I water this pot about every 7 to 10 days, usually 10 days. If it's a little bit hotter, I will water it more, just because the pot is small. And in terms of temperature, it is cold hardy to about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. If you get any colder, it might get. Now, in terms of hot sun, it is going to burn because this is against the wall, and it got just a touch of it. So if you have a hot reflected wall, it's not good. And it actually will do okay in bright shade too, and in really bright shade, because I have a pot in bright shade, and it's hasn't grown too much, but it has that blush of copper to it. And the pattern that it grows in, it sort of clumps and spreads, and that's how it is. So you'll get a lot of the smaller growth down here, and then the older growth will grow on these really long stems. So it's a really interesting plant. And it does flower. It has white flowers, and mine flowers in the late winter time. So if you want to add a little bit of orange to your succulent garden, this is the way to go.
It's okay. Action.
Okay. So I hope you have found this video helpful about one of my favorite succulents, and it's a great way to add a little orange to your garden, which I would be all in favor of course. So please subscribe, because I have a lot more videos about succulents, gardening, plants, flowers, and crafting coming your way. I thank you for all your comments and your likes. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Speaking of gardening, let's get out in the garden and make the world a more beautiful place. Thanks so much for watching. See you all soon.